know, we should continue to always talk about the issues and the needs of military families, veterans, and so on. But with Veterans Day coming up this week, it's important to think about, you know, how are we supporting veterans and their families? We've done a lot of work at RAND thinking about the needs of returning service members and veterans through our Invisible Wound study. We've thought a lot about the needs of Reserve and Guard families who perhaps for the first time are accessing veterans benefits. And we also have to think that it's not simply the service member who's the veteran and the family, but the entire military family who is serving and continues to serve even after they return from deployment or return from involvement in the conflicts overseas. So a lot of our work on military families writ large in terms of spouses, kids, and service members really helps us understand where we need to be going to secure the kinds of programs, supports, benefits, and so on for veterans as we move ahead. Over the last few years, we've been doing a lot of work on the experiences of military families, primarily focused on the experiences of kids in those families, as well as the parents who don't deploy. So taking a look at how spouses are doing during parental deployment. When a service member deploys, when a parent deploys, the whole family serves. And so kids are affected by that deployment. While a lot of kids are doing well with parental deployment and are amazingly resilient, they gain new independence, they take on new roles and responsibilities in their family, some kids are facing a lot of stress. And we have documented some of the emotional and social difficulties that those kids are facing, increases in anxiety symptoms, difficulties engaging in school. And so it's important to really stay vigilant and think about the needs of these kids and how we can support them better. First of all, kids who are facing multiple months of deployment or cumulative months of deployment may be at greater risk for some more challenges. And so we've got to think about what programs and supports we have in place for those kids. We also have to think about the needs of older teens, and that was one of the focuses of our work in terms of how do we think about adolescents and preteens and the kinds of services that we have in school and outside of school, particularly because they're taking on new roles and responsibilities in the household, often leading, taking care of siblings, taking on more household chores to support the parent at home. And we've got to think about ways that we can lessen their stress, lessen some of their anxieties about that. Well, I think there are a couple areas that we've uncovered in our research that need further investigation. One of them is we really don't understand how the whole family changes as a result of deployment. At RAND, we've been doing some work on the needs of service members, the needs of spouses, and the needs of kids sort of separately. And in our new work called the Deployment Life Study, we'll be able to look at how the whole family system interacts with each other during and after a deployment. And we'll be able to identify those factors that contribute to a family that's resilient in the face of a deployment stress, or that have factors that buffer against the stress of a deployment.